Welcome to my madness, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to be taking a look at these two knockoff Transformer Studio Series 38 Voyager class Bumblebee movie Optimus Prime figures. Boy, is that a mouthful. But we're going to take a look at these, and you're going to get my opinion as not a Transformer collector, and we're going to see if these figures are any good. Stay tuned. Alright, so here we have them, and there's not a lot to go over as far as accessories go. These guys come with Optimus Prime's gun, and that is it. And of course, we have our standard Optimus Prime here. Then we have our black version, which I can't remember what this guy's called. Is it Nemesis Optimus or Optimus Nemesis, or I don't know. Somebody in the comment section let me know below. What is the black version of Optimus Prime called? I don't know, because as I said at the beginning of the video, I don't collect Transformers. Transformers is just not something I've ever been into. I've got a lot of friends that are, and absolutely just drool over everything Transformers. That is just not me. Even as a kid, while I had Transformers, it just was not a franchise that I was into anywhere near as much as things like Star Wars and G.I. Joe. I prefer more of the human characters as opposed to giant transformable robots. It's just kind of how my taste went, and they kind of stay that way today. But I ran across these two while looking on Temu to just see if there was anything cool out there that might be worth picking up, and they were a really good price, which we'll talk about here later in the video. And I decided, you know what? Let me pick them up and see if they're any good. So here we have them. They are here. We're going to take a look at them. Now, I do have to say, again, prefacing this, not a Transformers collector, but as not a Transformers collector, they look really, really good. I mean, and it may be hard to tell here, but just the detail work that was done on these is absolutely amazing. Now, I've done some photo comparisons of these with the original version of this Voyager class Optimus Prime from the Bumblebee movie. And from the pictures and some of the videos I've watched, I don't see any differences, nothing that pops out to me. If you guys out there are Transformers collectors, you might notice things that I am not, though. So if you do, leave it in the comment section down below. But the detail on these guys looks really, really good. A lot of good paint, good detail. Everything looks great. And of course, I mean, it's a knockoff, so I'm sure it's, for the most part, identical to the original as far as all the little bits and gribbles and all that kind of stuff. But even the paint work that's done on this, where you've got the you know, the brighter silver, you know, you've got the windshield wipers done, the head sculpt looks really good, you've got the paint details here and here. You know, it's really, really nice. It's a really, really good looking figure. And this one here, while there's less paint work done on this guy because he's mostly just black, gray, little bit of silver, and then this kind of metallic blue, but even so, the metallic blue on this guy and the rest of the paint work looks really, really nice. Everything's done really well, really clean. The sculpt and the mold is there, and I really, really dig it. Now, these are about 6.5 inch figures here, which puts them right in line with the originals. And you know, these are probably stolen molds, I am sure. I don't know how they managed to make them exactly like the originals, but I'm sure that's what they are. So they come in at the same size, same height, same pretty much basic scale across the board, but they're really, really well done. As far as the articulation on these things go, if you're an action figure guy like I am, articulation can be kind of a big deal. You know, just to kind of go over it, we've got really good articulation. Now, he does have like these single jointed knees, but they come up pretty good. You do have a rotation there in both the legs, but the legs come up to there, they come out to there, come all the way back, a little bit to right there. He's got that rotation there in the waist. He's got tilt there on his feet, and then of course they do go back and forth there just a little bit. He's got this these pieces that come out here, which of course are part of his transformation. His head is on a ball joint, but it doesn't really move that much. He's got a little bit of back and forth there in the upper arms. Then, of course, his arms do come up, go back down. We've got swivel there in the bicep, single jointed elbows that come up to about right there. And then we've got rotation there in the wrists as well. So basic stuff for what me as a, you know, action figure collector would be looking at. But as far as a Transformer goes, seems to be pretty damn good. So I'm really digging it. And I gotta say, while I don't collect Transformers, I do collect plenty of action figures. And I know what cheap plastic feels like. And I gotta say, this does not feel like cheap plastic. Now, I am not trying to make some claim that this is somehow as good as the original. I don't know. Again, not a collector, but I can say this does not feel cheap. It doesn't wobble, it doesn't shake, nothing feels off. All the joints feel nice and tight and secure and strong. Everything feels really good on both these guys. And I gotta say, for what I paid for them, which again we'll talk about here in just a minute, I'm pretty damn happy with what I got here. Now what I'm gonna attempt to do is to transform these guys to show you, well, one of them anyway, to show you what this guy looks like when he is in vehicle mode. I am not gonna record this because, again, I don't know what I'm doing as somebody who doesn't play around with Transformers. So we're gonna try and get this guy transformed and show you guys what he looks like all done up like that, and we will, of course, go from there. Alright, so I got him all slapped together, and that took me way too long, but again, you're talking to somebody who does not collect or mess around with Transformers, but I think he came together pretty well, and from what I can tell, from what he is supposed to look like in the official version, I mean, he pretty much looks the way he is supposed to, and I don't see any issues or anything wrong with him. And he fit together rather nicely and works pretty well. Now look, I'm not going to have him on the shelf like this. I'm going to have both of them in robot mode because I just like that a lot better and think they look cool there. But I gotta say, as far as the transformation goes, it looks really good. I dig it quite a bit. So really, I like what we've got going on here. Now, to talk about price here real quick, I picked both these guys up on Temu for 15 bucks a piece with free shipping. Not only that, but they got here in about a week and a half. That is not a bad price at all. Now, I've looked the official version of this guy up on the secondary market, and I see him go in the anywhere from $30 to $60 range, depending on new inbox, that kind of thing, on places like eBay, Mercari, stuff like that. I even saw him still on Walmart.com going for like $75, obviously from a third-party seller. But, you know, 30 to 60 bucks versus $15, to me, that's kind of a no-brainer here, especially as I'm sitting here playing around with this guy, and I don't see anything objectively bad about it. It feels and looks like a really well-made figure. The transformation comes off really well. The robot mode looks great. I gotta say, it's really hard for me to look at something like this and then say, especially as somebody who doesn't really collect Transformers and isn't really worried about getting the latest, greatest official version of everything, it's hard for somebody like me to justify 30 to 60 bucks to get a cool figure like this, when for 30 bucks I can have two of them in two different colors, and that's pretty damn cool. So I'm not making a judgment call on buying knockoffs. You know, that's up to your own levels of morality. I do not buy a lot of knockoffs. I only have a handful of them in my collection. But sometimes I just want to pick something up just to see if it's any good. And I gotta say, I'm pretty impressed with this. But I'd love to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below. What do you think, not only of knockoffs in general, but what do you think of this figure? And do you have any knockoff Transformers? And if so, what's your opinion on them? Do you like them? Do you hate them? I mean, let me know out in the comments section. Would love to hear what you guys have to say. But that is it, guys. Thank you for watching, as always. And always remember to enjoy your collection.